got here right at the nick of time.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Impeccable timing.
Impeccable.
How are you doing?
Baruch Hashem.
Are you having tea with sugar, with sugar
some
cubes, just
honey?
for the
Yeah.
occasion?
Well, no, it's not just for the occasion. I mean, I also have a cold and I'm coughing.
Nice.
But
Smala.
I mean,
Bashlema.
the occasion. I don't know if I'm allowed to say a Shechianu, but I'm tempted to say a Shechianu. I honestly earlier today I didn't think I would. I started tearing up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Those people who say nothing ever happens, it's happening. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah. This is a big event, God willing.
Yeah,
That something like this will happen. Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, yeah, I guess
Syria. I didn't believe like Syria falling. That was like, how does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
And now Iran.
It's interesting. I guess it's just in terms of timing. It's like from the last change. Obviously, it was the 70s.
Yeah.
So this is the time frame that we're talking about. Oh, again, if whatever happens, happens.
Could you stop, please? I need my hand, and I don't need you to chew it up. Thank you.
Lucky's excited too.
Lucky's very excited.
So okay, so we'll try to distract. We'll try to distract
Lucky
you.
with Torah.
You and Lucky and you. I was thinking.
Yeah.
And me probably.
Okay, I'm gonna make you pull it up.
Okay, I have it actually.
You have it?
I do. Because Chazi, you know, I'm the one that.
Oh, you have to run it Chazi because yeah.
That's so I kind of had my thoughts, you know, my idealistic thoughts after last week. First of all, I thought it was very good, so I appreciate it. It was very nice. Mm-hmm. We didn't get anywhere. We did like 4 verses, so it was not like, which is interesting. So I was thinking, you know what, this time it requires me to just to read the whole parasha and kind of think. Mm-hmm. First of all, I want to make sure that people know or that I remember what was the ending of the last parasha, and then I want to maybe review that, kind of do the nutshell of like this parasha in case we don't do the whole thing. And then I thought maybe I'll pick different milestones that we can look at. But this parasha, and I'm sure that others as well, is just like this. It's very hard to pick just a few things to focus on.
Honestly, like, yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know. I doubt you've ever had to do a weekly parsha, like, or a little sermon. There was a brief time when I gave a weekly sermon at a minyan, and yeah, it's difficult to know what to talk about because like the parsha is so filled with stuff, and I didn't realize like Christians, like their Bible is so much bigger. And like Jews, generally, we stick to the 5 books of Moses, you know, like the other parts of the Bible. Yeah, they're there. They're nice. They're cute, you know, but it's mostly just, you know, Bereshit through Devarim.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess let's do, I didn't prepare a sermon or anything like that, but just to, we'll kind of try it out now and see where we, how far we go, or if we can, I'll have it open here just in my book so that I can skim it quickly, and then we can maybe decide, okay, this we can read faster or slower. Okay. But I guess just to give context of where we were, I mean, last week we read the last portion of Bereshit, Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
which basically ends with the death of Yaakov, Jacob, and then Yosef.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his brothers are afraid of it, that he will kill them or do something to them after Yaakov, their father, dies. But he tells them, "Don't worry, I will take care of you, and I gave you the land, and then God will surely redeem you one day, and he will take you out of this land." Right? He gives this promise, and that's how it ends, which is a beautiful,
Yeah.
such a cinematic end for the first. It's not a trilogy, but whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a perfect ending for a book. A bookend, I guess.
Yeah.
So it ends there. And then today we have the first parasha of
Shemot is
Exodus.
Exodus, I believe.
Exodus, yeah, Exodus, Shemot, and it covers a lot. So yeah, we'll start with just kind of the ending of the generation of the brothers.
Well, let's
Uh,
just explain. So the Hebrew um, thing of each parsha, but certainly each book of the Bible is the first unique word, right?
mhm.
So ve'ele shemot b'nei Israel is the first 4 words, and that's why we call it Shemot.
Right, which is names. So Exodus is a unique name for the book that has no equivalent in Hebrew. That's not the equivalent in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and it begins with telling us about the generation dying, kind of like the changing of the guards in many cases, in many aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes all the way through. I'll just give kind of like a quick. I don't know. We'll probably won't get the whole thing, but it goes all the way from um, the Israelites, the Pharaoh enslaving the Israelites, and then Moses being born, and the early years of Moses, and then to the time where the God speaks to him, the burning bush, and the first time that he goes to speak to Pharaoh. And it ends with God repeating basically the promise that Joseph gave his brothers at the end of Bereshit. So that's I guess we'll start and we'll see where we get. I actually need to get there. Okay. So I'll just go through it and we'll see where we want to stop. Let me know if there's a specific place you want to stop.
Okay.
Okay. ואלה שמות בני ישראל הבאים מצרימה את יעקב איש וביתו באו. And these are the names of the sons of Israel, Jacob, that came to Egypt with Yaakov, his man and his whole household. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zvulun, and Binyamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. So actually, with this, I don't know if there's any significance to why it puts these particular people together.
I mean, they're the 12 tribes, right? But although ultimately it gets to be one, two,
Right,
three.
no, but Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zvulun, and Binyamin are together.
Yeah.
And this is, so I don't know, is there
yeah.
significance to that?
Honestly, I'm sure. Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's a Rashi on it.
Like these are on the names and stuff. That's usually when it gets into the remez and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And ויקול נפש יציירך יעקב 70 נפש ויוסף היה במצרים. So obviously there's a lot of talk about also 70, 60, 69. Who is the 70? Calculating that. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes around about that.
And ultimately, like the number 70, like, yes, ultimately people will think, but like the number 70 doesn't have to be exact, right? If it was 72, life wouldn't end. You know?
And yeah, I remember when I was learning Torah in school in Israel, then there was a concept of, I think it was called a typological number, typology. Is that a thing? Is that right? That's what I remember. Typological, like 7 or 70, because you have 7. It's the seventh day, and I think like 600 is 600,000, right? Like that number. There's a few of those that kind of repeat themselves.
Yes, there are several numbers that are very common.
Okay. וימות יוסף וכל אחיו וכל הדור. So I don't know if I said it right. It talks about how there are 70 people that came with Yaakov, and then he tells us that Yosef and his brothers and in that entire generation died. ובני ישראל פרו וישרצו וירבו ויעצמו במאוד מאוד. תמלא הארץ אותם.
This is one of the first lines that in the Haggadah we darshan.
Interesting. Right. So the sons, here it says, and the sons of Israel were fruitful and swarmed and multiplied and grew very mighty. So it's interesting. It gives us lots of adjectives or lots of shatsu, I guess verbs.
Yeah.
So it was a multiple, which I see Rashi has the midrash that you have women that have six babies at once.
Must have been hard.
It must have.
Breastfeeding. Can you imagine?
Yeah, he takes a village.
Yep.
ויקם מלך חדש על מצרים אשר לא ידע את יוסף.
Vayakom, it should be, I believe.
Vayakom. Yeah, maybe it says, sometimes it doesn't have the.
So I believe. Oh, right. It should be a kamatz katan. Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. A new king rose over Egypt who did not know Yosef. Okay. So I guess that's the first thing that's interesting here, because it seems like this is where a turn happens in the story.
Yeah.
I guess it's interesting that it mentions that it's specifically Yosef that he doesn't remember. So Yosef is like he's the symbol of the Israelites. I mean, he's the leader, I guess,
the
of
Israelites in Egypt,
in Egypt, right? Well,
so he was viceroy of Egypt.
Yes, he was the viceroy of Egypt. But I guess it says that, and then it says, let's see. So somehow the fact that he doesn't remember Yosef is connected. Well, obviously it's connected to the fact that he then talks about the Israelites, children of Israel, and his suspicion of them. Okay. Ava nitchakma lo pen yarbe. Okay, I don't know if I said it. Vayomer lamo ine am bnei Israel rav atzu imanu. And so Pharaoh says to his people, "Behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we." Vayomer lamo. So I guess one thing that's interesting here, and I know that it's going to be repeated again, and for some reason it's in my mind, is that what he says, El Amo. First of all, it's weird because is this like, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of, the visual that I have now is the visual of like Hitler talking to the people. It has a big rally, because like a leader, why would he be talking to? Usually, he would talking to his advisors, right, or like to his like the minister. But here, it's like he's a populist pharaoh. He's talking to the people.
Well, there's a less poetic, or maybe more poetic, reason, but Hebrew poetry is through alliteration, so repetition of sounds. So in English, we usually don't like to repeat the same word over and over again, but the Bible will repeat the same word over and over again, kind of as a poetic flourish. So it says, "Vayomer el amo, hine am bnei Yisrael rav v'atzum mimenu." And you'll notice there's another ayin, like, and the mem, right? It's like you get the same sounds over and over again. If you look at Bereshit, if you look at the first chapter of the Bible, Gimel doesn't show up until like the 8th verse.
And the letter like Gimel.
The letter Gimel, yeah. And it's like barely used in the entirety of the first the first creation narrative.
Interesting. Okay, so you're just saying this is like
it can be
the way it was written.
Yeah, a repetition of the same sounds over and over again.
Yeah, interesting. And the other thing that I was thinking about it doesn't have to do with the poetry of it, which is interesting, is also it makes me always think about Shechem. And trying to rationalize what happened there, Shimon and Levi, them destroying the whole city, all the males at least, or killing all the males. And I remember that it was one discussion about being specific about the fact that from the text you can see that the king or the prince was talking to the people, like the whole people were complicit in the decision to do what they did, Dina and all that, right? So here as well, it maybe in one sense it builds that complicity, because in one sense you can say, like, why would God do all this to the Egyptians?
Right.
Like if Pharaoh is a tyrant, just punish Pharaoh. Why would you punish all the firstborns of the Egyptians? So in a sense, this is a way to try to make some sense of that.
Yep, makes sense.
הבה נתחכמה לו, פן ירבה, והיה כי תקראנה מלחמה ונוסף גם הוא על שונאינו ונלחם בנו ועלה מן הארץ. So let us deal with them wisely, and because it might be that a war will be called upon us, would come, and they, the children of Israel, will join our enemies, and they would fight us, and they will go up from the land. Okay, so
it's kind of funny. Like it says they're going to leave, right? So it's like, well, I mean, they could have just said, okay, we don't want them here anymore. But it's like, no. We have to deal with them. We can't just kick them out. Let's deal with them so that they can't leave.
Yeah. I would think that the fear, I would think that the fear would be maybe that, yes, they will join our enemies and then they will take over.
Yeah. but it's like no,
No, they're leaving.
Yeah. So,
Which is almost like a backhand compliment,
do you know
right?
the Habiru theory of Hebrew origins?
Oh yeah, I read it. It's in the Jews history of the Jews.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He
it's a
talks
really
about it. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
really like that.
yeah.
It's cool.
Although people claim it's been debunked, I don't know how it's been debunked. It's not popular among actual academics, but I
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah.
I would be totally fine with that as as
Mhm.
the origin and the exodus of yeah.
So how is this? Oh, at the origin, I understand the Exodus.
So
Um,
the idea is so the Apiru were a group of highly skilled slaves in Egypt who
oh,
seemed
okay.
who seem to have basically rebelled and um, left the kingdom.
Interesting. Okay, so that's different, a little different from what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
Interesting, because I think what he talks about the. I thought it was the same, like Abreu or something, which are tribes that lived in modern day Syria, Iraq,
Yeah,
or tribes or nomadic tribes, and there were usually mercenaries, highly
mercenaries.
skilled
So
mercenaries,
yeah, high
and they would
skill.
come,
Yeah,
yeah, and so they would come west, right over the Jordan.
yeah.
That's why they were called something, which is why the Hebrews, right?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. That
Me'ever. So,
yeah.
and it kind of fits the narrative of the Torah because Abraham comes to Canaan, and what does he do? He
Right.
wages a bunch of wars, and he's highly skilled at all of this stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, no,
but yeah,
I always associated it with so there definitely were these Apiru and
hmm
mercenaries or high skilled slaves. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know. But academics don't like these theories for
yeah, I don't know what
God knows
what
why.
their status is. Yeah, okay. Um, okay, so let's see what if the Rashi has something. Um, Al Kochenu. So he says, "Ve'ala min haaretz," what we said about then they will leave the land. Rashi says, "Al kochenu," meaning without our will, or ורבותינו דרשו, and then he brings from the Talmud, כאדם שמקלל עצמו ותולה קללתו בחברו, והרי הוא כאילו כתוב, ועלינו מן הארץ והם ירשוע. I don't know what that necessarily means. Let's see. Our rabbis explained that they spoke like a person who is pronouncing a curse against himself, but attaches a curse to others so as not to use an ominous expression on himself, so that it is as though it was written, and we will have to go up out of the land, and they will take possession of it.
That's not the
Oh, does he say that Valamin Aretz is referring to him? It's meaning that he says the curse about the Israelites that they would leave, but really he means that on the
oh that
Egyptians.
we would that's a very different understanding. Yeah.
If I understand it right now. Been through. See what you can say about Joseph was sent by his father. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
So Ilson Helper says maybe the Jews were too important economically because they were the shepherds, and doesn't it say in Genesis that the Egyptians looked down on shepherds? I don't think it says it explicitly, but it might.
Did they had shepherds? I think.
No, it
I
does.
think it says Pharaoh.
Like they say, yeah, we're going to settle in Goshen because we are shepherds, and then I think Rashi says, and the Egyptians didn't like shepherds.
I think I need to remember because Yosef says to the brothers, "Tell him that you're shepherds." Well, he tells it's weird because he tells them, tell Pharaoh that you're shepherds, and tell him that it was the profession, it was the tradition of your fathers, and you've done it from your youth, because Pharaoh or the Egyptians hate shepherds.
Oh, so it does say it explicitly.
Yeah, and I remember it was always weird for me to like, why is he telling him to say that they're shepherds if Pharaoh hates shepherds or if the Egyptian? So the idea is that he tells them tell them that it's the tradition of your fathers, meaning it wasn't your choice. It's like just what you were born with, and then Pharaoh would understand. Okay, well, they're not. It's not like they chose to kill our gods. Like that's just their traditions, because that's why they hated shepherds, because sheep and cattle was sacred. Okay, so let's continue. I think we're already making much more progress.
We're definitely making a lot more progress.
Yeah. וישימו עליו שרי מיסים למען ענותו בסבלתם, ויבן ערי מסכנות לפרעה את פתאום ואת רמסס. וישימו עליו, and they put upon him, which we can discuss, tax officers in order to oppress them, and they built storage houses in the cities of Pitom and Ramses. So, yeah, I mean, the obvious question is, alav is singular. It's singular. Right. Rashi says just alam. He just says, yeah, it just refers to the people like that. So there's no reasoning behind it.
I mean, it's singular, like, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a grammatical Rashi. It's just why is it in singular? Because it's referring to the people as a whole.
Right.
And I'm sure there are people who then make all kinds of nice drushes on that. But
yeah. Okay. I don't think. Okay. וכאשר יענו אותו, כן ירבה וכן יפרוץ ויקוצו מפני בני ישראל. So as they oppressed them, even though they oppressed them, the Israelites continued to multiply and grow, and vayakutsu, and they were filled with loathing, the Egyptians, because of the children of Israel. Which
first anti-Semitism.
I guess what. Let's see what the Rashi says, because it's interesting why they feel loathsome. Is it because they have a lot of children, or is it because something else? Because I mean, in terms of the clause, it's next to each other. So my question there. כאשר יענו אותו ככל מה שהיו נותנים לב לענות, כן לב הקב"א להרבות ולפרוץ. So Rashi just says that the more that the Egyptians really tried from their heart to oppress the Israelites, then, so to speak, the heart of God made it so that they will become, that the Israelites will become greater and multiply more. Okay, and so Rashi brings from the Talmud Sota that Vayakutsu is is like kotzim, ayu kotzim be'enem, and kotzim in Hebrew is thorns.
Yeah.
Yakutsu and kotzim. So it's not only that they were loathsome to the Egyptians, they were like thorns in their eyes. ויעבדו מצרים את בני ישראל לפרך. And in Egypt worked the children of Israel with backbreaking labor. So I think maybe I'll repeat this, the theory that I mentioned about the fact that here it tells us that Egypt worked Israel with backbreaking labor. It just doesn't say that fair.
It wasn't individual. It was national. Yeah.
Right, because I mean it says here you have tax officers, which is always almost again thinking about Nazi Germany, always thinking about where should the blame go? It's a very delicate question in a sense.
Yeah, I hear you. But ultimately, God will work it out. If there was some innocent Egyptian who died in Makat Bechorot, I'm sure God will make it up to him.
Okay. וימררו את חייהם בעבודה קשה בחימר, בחומר ובלבנים ובכל עבודה בשדה את כל עבודתם אשר עבדו בהם בפרך. And they embittered their lives with hard work, with mortar and bricks, and with all the work in the field, all the work in a back-breaking labor. Okay, now we move into the next kind of vignette, basically. ויאמר מלך מצרים למילדות העבריות, אשר שם אחת שפרה ושם השנייה פועה. Then Pharaoh goes to the two Hebrew midwives, one named Shifra and one named Pua.
Yeah, so Dennis Prager, may God give him healing, makes a huge mistake, which he says he thinks that when it says Me'aldot Ha'ivriot, it means the midwives that were helping the Hebrew woman. So he believes they were actually Egyptians, but that's not the traditional Jewish understanding.
Right. And I think he made, I remember that, and his claim was that gives a sense of God rewarding, it gives us this unlikely hero because they're not Israelites and yet they are rewarded.
Yeah, that's his understanding. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I mean, Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim leme'aldot ha'ivriot, that's pretty clearly a smichut there.
Yeah. Okay. Asher Shemach. Okay, Shemach Pua. There's a lot of things about the names of Shifra and Pua, and Rashi obviously says that Shifra is Yochevet here. We don't go into
Miriam.
ויאמרו בילדכן את העבריות וראיתן על האבנים אם בן הוא ועמיתן אותו ואם בת היא וחיה.
They were the first feminists.
The first feminists, right? Yeah, so he told them that when you give birth to the Hebrews, and they're on the stone, the birthing stone, if it's a boy, you should kill him, and if it's a girl, you can let her live. You can let
Which
them live.
I mean tells you he didn't know biology very well, because the restrictive aspect for a population is actually the females, not the males. So
Interesting.
Biologically, stop it! Ow! Yeah.
Well, I guess I guess Rashi brings here something that maybe makes it seem more sense. So
Yeah.
he says that im benhu, right? When Pharaoh says if he's a boy,
Yeah.
it's not. Well, the Pharaoh maybe he wasn't thinking biologically, but what he was thinking about is that his wizards told him that there is going to be a Hebrew boy that is going to um, redeem the people, redeem the Israelites. So he was trying to kill this redeemer.
He was trying to get rid of Moses.
Basically.
Don't tell the Christians; they'll lose their minds over this.
This is pretty cool, right?
It
This
is.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Rashi Leipzig. Okay.
Oh, that was a Rashi scroll?
I
That
guess.
was a
Yeah.
manuscript of Rashi?
לך הייתה יהודית אני שולחן.
Interesting. Huh.
Leipzig.
Okay.
This is not Ktav Rashi though. Or is this?
No, Ketav Rashi comes from the 1500s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ketav Rashi
Why?
is 500 years after Rashi.
Who decided that there needs to be a different?
So what happened was that when they printed the Torah with Rashi, they wanted to use a different script for the Rashi script for the Rashi commentaries because
so that confuse it.
Yeah, so they had a different type, and they used the other type for Rashi, and that became known as Rashi script because that's what the Rashis were printed in.
Interesting. Just makes it way more difficult. I mean, now I know.
What am I losing my mind over? So Christians like to do this thing where everything, like everybody is a prototype of Jesus. So Moses is a prototype of Jesus. And so everything that happened to Moses has to happen to Jesus. And so if we say that Pharaoh killed all these boys in order to kill Moses because he didn't want them to be saved, then you can make analogies with Herod, and you're like, see, Christotypical garbage. That's what you're losing your mind over.
Okay.
We love our Christian friends.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much, but we do love them.
We love them. We welcome them.
Yeah.
ותיראנה מילדות את האלוהים ולא עשו כאשר דיבר עליהן מלך מצרים ותחיינה את הילדים. The midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt spoke to them, and they let the children live.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to me too that to fear and to see, especially in the Bible, fear is usually written vayera, this root, and it's similar or very similar to and they saw. So I always get it confused, or it's hard for me to know when is when, just based on the context. I can get it most of the times.
Right. So, well, this one, I mean, it should be pretty clear, right? Because so there is an argument that Hebrew really has two radical stems, right? But generally, we say that Hebrew has three radical stems. And
what do you mean by radical stems?
So a radical is a shoresh, right? Radix is Latin, I believe, or maybe Greek for root.
Okay.
So each letter is called a radical if it's part of the shoresh. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the root of fear is Yud Resh Aleph. Those are the three radicals, Yud Resh Aleph. Right, and for to see is Resh Aleph Hey.
Resh Aleph A, right.
Yeah. So the Tir'ena here, right? You see the Yud in front of the Taf. So the taf is the prefix, right? So the yud is part of the stem. It's
Right.
not. It's not being conjugated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yud.
That's how you can tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, usually when there's a fight between translators on how to translate a verse, it's, well, what are you saying is the stem, and what form, what construct are you saying that it's, which binyan are you saying that it's in?
Right. It has
Yeah.
to be connected.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can actually make it to Moses. ויקרא מלך מצרים למילדות ויאמר להם מדוע עשיתם הדבר הזה ותכן את הילדים. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, calls the midwives and asks them, why have you done this thing and let the children live? It's interesting that he doesn't just kill them.
Yeah.
But I guess with the women, like we saw, he's more forgiving. But
He's feminist. What can we say?
Yeah, ותאמר המילדות אל פרעה, כי לא כנשים המצריות העבריות, כי חיות הנה, בטרם תבוא אליהן המילדת וילדו. They are like animals. They're not like the Egyptian ones, women. Before you even come to them, it pops out.
Yeah.
So we couldn't catch it.
Yeah. It was too late.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. ויטב אלוהים למילדות וירב העם ויעצמו מאוד. And God, it was good. God dealt well with the midwives. So it was good for God what the midwives did, and the nation, the people became more and more plentiful.
Elohim lamildot means God did good to the midwives.
Yeah, here, I mean, Rashi gives you the grammatical, right? יוד ברשע, לדבר ויפעל. וירא ויהודה, יגאל את השרת. Okay, so he brings a lot of examples of this particular conjugation.
Yeah, there are a lot of grammatical Rashis.
ויהי כי יראו המילדות את האלוהים ויראו את המילדות את האלוהים ויעש להם בתים. And because the midwives fear God, he made houses for them. And it makes it even more specific in terms of what good God gave them.
Yeah.
Which Rashi says is...
Yes. Says that's why Levi and Kohen came from Yocheved.
Right, because previously...
She's the mother of all the Kohanim.
Right, and then in a second we will see Ben Levi came to a Bat Levi, right? ויצב פרעה לכל עמו לאמור כל הבן הילוד היאורה תשליכהו וכל הבת תכין. So here is where Pharaoh says ויצב פרעה לכל עמו, right? So every time, now he talks to his entire nation, not only to the midwives, and he says every boy that is born you shall throw them into the river. Every girl you can keep them alive. So Rashi says too that he really made this decree on his entire nation. It was their responsibility at that point. Wow. Perek. Ben Levi, Bat Levi. Vaylech ish. What time is it? וילך איש מבת לוי ויקח את בת לוי. And a man came from the house of Levi and took the daughter of Levi.
And this is where Rashi gives a very different explanation from what the plain understanding would be, which is that they decided not to have relations so that the children wouldn't die, and Miriam goes to her father and his Beit Din and says, Pharaoh would kill just the boys, and you kill both the women and the men, and yeah, so there's this whole thing. Yeah.
Where does he bring it?
Right there.
חזר וזה עושה בלב חלנה הבת שם, שרדה בו נצא אפס, גם בשישים. Here?
I think so. Yeah. Doesn't he say?
I don't see it here.
Married her a second time immediately.
What? Yeah, he took her for a second time. But it doesn't say about Miriam. I know what you're talking about, but I just don't see it here. Maybe it's further. Hold
on, go up a little bit. Go up. On the left side. Married her a second time. Immediately after this marriage, Yocheved conceived and gave birth to Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was misreading. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested where.
Yeah. It might not be a Rashi. It might be a whatchamacallit. It might be a midrash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the woman conceived and bore a son, and she saw that he was good, and she hid him for 3 months. So you know this, right? Rashi says, it's like when he was born, when Moses was born, the entire house was filled with light. And I think when I heard this, it made the connection to the creation story, because God creates light, and he creates something and says it was good.
Yeah.
So the same thing was about Moses.
Yeah.
But it's Shachashim, and she hid him for 3 months or 3 moons. ולא יכלה עוד הצפינו, ותיקח לו תיבת גמה גומה, ותחמרה בחמר בזפת, ותשם בה את הילד, ותשם בסוף על שפת היאור. By the way, tar is not fun to get when you're in the beach.
Yeah, and that, by the way, is the picture in my background.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. So Miriam, or not Miriam, his mother Yocheved could not hide him anymore. Well, I don't know maybe it talks about Miriam, right? She couldn't hide him anymore or help her mother hide him anymore. So she took and she created this teva, this basket, and she prepared it for him. Very specifically, it tells us how she prepared it. And she put the child in it, and she put it at the edge of the Nile, like in Jacob's picture. Okay, so here Rashi says zefet mibachutz v'tit mibifnim kedei shelo yariach oto tzadik reach ra shel zefet. So Rashi says that she had to make the basket with certain things so it floats and all that. So the tar she made on the outside, so that, and she put clay on the inside. And the reason she put the tar outside is because she didn't, so that Moses doesn't smell the bad smell.
Yeah, like he said by Joseph with the
Ishmaelites.
Yeah, the perfumers. And yes, I would say there is a connection with Moses' countenance there.
ותתעצב אחותו מרחוק לדעת מה יש לו. מה יעשה לו. Yes, מה יעשה לו. I don't know what this is. Okay. And she stood from afar to see what will be done to him. ותרד בת פרעה לרחוץ על היאור, ונערותיה הולכות על יד היאור, ותראה את התיבה בתוך הסוף, ותשלח את אימתה ותיקחה. Tikacha. So Pharaoh's daughter went down to bathe in the river, and her maidens were walking with her by the river. And she saw the basket in the reeds and sent her handmaid, or sent her hand, and she took it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if Rashi brings the midrash. No, I don't think he brings it.
Which midrash?
Well, here it right here. So Rashi says on et emata is basically at shifchata, her maidservant. But he says that some of our rabbis, emata is from the representing hand, meaning her hand stretched forward in a miraculous way. Like whoever that person from The Incredibles, and grabbed Moses. I guess we're gonna have to close this at some point. It's so natural.
Yeah.
Is there any places we want to go to that we want to specifically look at?
I mean, we might as well get to the point where she names him Moses.
Okay, so תפתח ותפתח ותראה את הילד בן הנער בוכה ותחמא עליו. תאמר מילדי העברים זה. So she opened and she saw the child. והנה נער בוכה, and here he was a boy crying. ותחמא עליו ותאמר מילדי העברים זה. And she felt sorry for him, and she said, this is from the Hebrews. So first of all, I'm thinking about, you talked about Dennis Prager, and he was talking about the midwives, and he was saying that the point there was to show that there was an unlikely hero. So the reason that I think it's not necessary is because right here it gives you an even
less
unlikelier hero. And the sages doubled down on this of the daughter, which has a name. I forgot the name they give her. I don't know. Batya. That she's one of the righteous, and they give her some kind of.
They actually call her. So it's a whole story which Chazia loves to tell, but let's get to Moses.
Okay. And then she says, so, an interesting thing is that it says, she will see the child, and here he was a boy. So it's also koloka now, right? And Rashi says his voice was like a boy. He was a baby, but he had a voice of almost like a teenager. Whatever that signifies. So Miriam runs over there and she tells the daughter of Pharaoh that I will call somebody from the Hebrew. I call a Hebrew nursing woman, and she will feed the child. And the Pharaoh's daughter tells her, go. And the Alma, the young woman, Miriam, goes, and she called the mother of the child, Yocheved. ותאמר לבת פרעה, הילכי את הילד הזה, וינקו לי וניתן את שכרך, ותיקח האישה הילד ותניקהו. And the daughter of Pharaoh says, take this child and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages. And the woman took the child and nursed him. This is honestly, reading this is kind of like a neat, weird, verbose verse. Like, why does it need to tell me that she is giving her wages, or I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is more verbose than these stories usually are.
Yeah. ויגדל הילד, ותביאהו לבת פרעה, והיא לה לבן, ותקרא שמו משה, ותאמר כי מן המים משיתהו.
Yeah. And just to be clear, no reasonable human being thought that this is a story of the daughter of Pharaoh deciding to call Moses Moshe because she spoke Hebrew. She obviously didn't. And so Moshe too, like this is an explanation. That doesn't mean Moses wasn't a Egyptian name, which it was. But the people who like to make, to disparage the Bible, they make these straw men out of the meanings of the verses, and this is one of the ones where they make straw men. And it's like, sorry, but like, she didn't speak Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. So the straw man that they make is like, obviously she's not in Hebrew, so now there's
this is all
dissonance.
Yeah. So there was no Moses.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rashi has some grammatical about the name, a bunch of stuff here. I don't know if we need to go into that. Right. I mean, it's just going to continue. I don't know if you want to continue or.
Well, I thought we got to Moses, which.
Yeah, we got to Moses. Yeah, it's just going to continue with like some more good stuff. So now it goes into him seeing the Egyptian, and then he's running away, and then all that stuff. I think we covered a good ground here.
We covered a lot more ground this week than we did last week.
Yeah. That was good. Okay, how does it feel to not have looked at the news
for a whole hour?
For a whole hour.
Well, I was at work all day and I couldn't watch most of the news much.
Yeah, I'm not judging you in any way. I mean, this is especially for you specifically more so. It's like I would not be able to leave because it does impact you, so. And it impacts all of us, but specifically for you, I can definitely see it's something that's important.
Yeah.
So I can only say Batzlacha.
I think it's over. It's all but the counting. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually a person who doesn't count his chickens before they're hatched, but this seems pretty much over. Which is like my last update, which was like I guess last week now. On Sunday I did an update, didn't I, or something like that?
Like the stream?
Yeah, I did a stream on Sunday. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my most recent stream. Or maybe I did one on Monday. No, I think it was on Sunday. But it's at the time I didn't think it was going anywhere, but it's gone.
And you said I saw you mentioned you said that you pronounce his name way better. Is back in Iran or
no?
No.
Reza Pahlavi is
Pahlavi.
Yeah, he's in. No, I mean,
okay.
I hope he's no longer in the United States. He should be traveling, unless he's an idiot. He should be. I don't know where he would go into. I'm gonna do a stream after this about Iran stuff. Yeah. I'll give myself
Get some more tea.
But probably in an hour, I'll do an Iran stream. Yeah.
Okay.
And you should be asleep.
I need to prepare. I have a chavruta in the morning with people from Israel, so, and I need to. Maybe you can give me advice. I need to give them. They're very interested in.
You're such a matmid.
So they're very interested about governance, Jewish. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, how do the Jews think about constructing a society? Jews being like religious Jews, how do you think about constructing rabbinic sources, constructing community or governance? or the equivalent of the Republic,
Yeah.
but for Jews.
You might want to dig into Shimshon Raphael Hirsch,
Interesting. I haven't thought about that.
because he he had to. I'm not sure if it was 17 questions or Horeb, or both of them, or what where he addressed it, but he was a member of the Austrian Parliament, and the whole question at the time was, how do Jews interact with a society that gives them liberty? And so that's when all of like Torah Umada and stuff like that came.
Interesting.
But
I found
generally the answer would be learn some Mishnah Torah with them.
Yeah, I was thinking about Melachim. It's about Melachim. But I need to. Just tell me. There's there. I need to the mitzvot. There are ones that are going to be more palatable, and ones that are because there's like 7 that are like Amalek this, Amalek that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but there's that.
You know what might be interesting? Mitzvat Minui Melech by but that's too Kabbalistic. By the Tzemach Tzedek in Derech Mitzotecha.
Tzedek, right? Yeah, interesting. I found actually a very interesting book.
Yeah.
That's basically like and we can call after this, but it was I don't remember what it's called. I can send it to you. But it's like, what was the book of the guy that made that book? No, I'm kidding. Was the book that everybody loved? That shows that the Christianity or Judeo-Christian societies is at the root of everything.
Oh,
Dominion.
Yoram Hazoni?
No. He's Christian. He did a book about Islam, and then he did about Dominion, I think.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Okay. So I found a book that looks like it's like the Jewish perspective. It's like way older. It's kind of like an academic view of like the Jewish perspective on that, because it collects a lot of information.
Ask Yosef would be your best source on this.
Did I already ask him? There's a chance I messaged him. Maybe I messaged him about something else. I don't remember.
Just don't ask Chezi, because he'll give you something Zionist. God have mercy on us all.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're Israelis, but I don't know if they're as explicitly Zionistic as Chezi. So that might be too political for them if it becomes too Zionistic. Yeah. So yeah, they're looking for something like rabbinic, like hardcore, something like. Anyway, so I'll take that. If Raphael Shimshon Hirsch, I'll look at that. Okay.
I mean, Pirkei Avot. Pirkei Avot is Pirkei Avot.
We went through Pirkei Avot already, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. End stream. Bye, people.
Thank you.